Good evening, Professor Garcia and fellow students. My name is James Jorgensen, and tonight's oral presentation is about unethical capital punishment. Capital punishment has been around since the 5th century worldwide. In the United States, capital punishment was established in 1608 when the first colony of Jamestown was established in Virginia. In the United States, the criminal justice system can place capital punishment on offenses as of treason, murder, espionage, and large-scale trafficking, and even attempted murder that is witnessed. Since the establishment of Jamestown in 1608 to the present day in the United States, there has been over 15,992 inmates executed under capital punishment. My thesis is capital punishment in the United States should be abolished from a federal and state standpoint, as this type of punishment is cruel and unusual. It denies the defendant due process as not a viable form of criminal control. Addressing cruel and unusual punishment aspects. The most unethical issue surrounding capital punishment is the perspective that as members of society, the issuance of this punishment is considered a moral obligation to protect society, which is cruel and unusual. Death row inmates are kept in solitary for over 23 hours a day. They can wind up sitting on death row for many years before the punishment is also carried out. Lower socioeconomic individuals are more likely to be sentenced to death row due to their lack of ability to obtain proper counsel. Addressing violation of the due process aspects. Due process under law is to be provided to all citizens of the United States born or naturalized, which allows for the right to live, liberty, and equal protection of laws and property. The right to due process also states that no government body is allowed to violate individuals born or naturalized in the United States, rights, privileges, or immunities granted by citizenship. Due process is accomplished by completing the steps of notice of proceedings, the hearing, and impartial jury to minimize the possibility of substantially unfair or mistaken deprivations of the defendant. When the individual is sentenced to death, utilizing capital punishment in the criminal justice system is violating the defendant's right to due process. Remember, the right to due process under the Constitution states that due process encompasses the right to live. The right to due process is not encompassed in the United States Constitution under the 14th Amendment, but is also recognized on an international level through what is referred to as International Bill of Human Rights, which was established in 1948. The international perspective of human rights was initiated by the United Nations, reinforcing rights to every individual worldwide, which included the right to life, the right from torture, the right to be treated with humanity during detention, the right to an unfair trial, the right to recognize before the law, the right to equality before the law, with many more human rights under the international bill. Addressing capital punishment not being a viable form of criminal control. Capital punishment is a constitutionally approved form of deterrence in the criminal justice system. The methods or measures utilized to deter crime within the criminal justice system are meant to reduce crime rates. However, these deterrents are not meant to be utilized to aid in cruel and unusual punishment, nor aid into violation of due process for defendants facing capital punishment or awaiting capital punishment on death row. Capital punishment is not a viable deterrent that should be utilized to deter what the Constitution deems capital in nature, as statistics show that the capital punishment only applies to a small percentage of the cases within the criminal justice system. Confirmed by multiple different studies over the years, considering all the cases sentenced for capital punishment, from the demographics, verifying variables, socioeconomics, and many other aspects of human population, and still to this day cannot prove or disprove that that capital punishment has the deterrent effect claimed by the government. Deterrence is the principle and great strategy for reducing criminal activity, but should not give way to cruel and unusual punishment, nor violate due process, which the Constitution was written to protect the rights of each American, and with a small percentage of cases that qualify for capital punishment, how this a proper deterrent method. And in the criminal justice system, capital punishment will always be a controversial topic from the two view different perspectives until change comes naturally or is forced to change. The death penalty is even seen by some justice and right through an eye for an eye mentally while others view as death penalty as a cruel and unusual punishment along with being unethical.